with the stories
on Huffington Post, and publishing the stories, so the word gets out about what's really going on here. A lot of the media, as you know, keep saying that no one knows what they're doing there. They don't have a message. And I keep saying, you're not listening. The message is very clear. So the idea of the stories on the Huffington Post is to provide an outlet so you can tell your own stories. And people can understand that messages are diverse. And complicated. And not a PowerPoint. Not a soundbite. And not easy to digest. Or packageable. And I think that really what's going on here is more like art than politics. And people don't know how to package art. So they dismiss it. And I think what we have to fight for is the power of art. And what I'm calling artivism. Which is much stronger than anything we can think of. So what we do is each person stands and tells their story. The stories are usually about 2 or 3 paragraphs. If you don't have it written, you can have 3 minutes. We like to give women the right of way. Women of color, particularly the right of way. But everybody is invited to tell their stories, and we usually get to everyone.
Everyone is invited to tell their stories, and we usually get to everyone.
So, who would like to begin? Should she stand?
Should she stand?
You can stand if you want to. Yeah, what makes you comfortable? You can sit. Yes. I probably don't need that long. I've been waiting for this for a really long time. I don't know what's taking people so long. I come here from a place of feeling that the family system has become extinct in this world.
That people have been torn apart.
And they can't keep up, and they can't keep relationships together. Because the monetary system just strangles the life out of nature. Anything that's free is being wiped off the face of the earth. And that's pretty much it. Thank you. Also, after we welcome everyone who's on the outside, you're all invited to come.
Welcome everyone on the outside. You're all invited to come. Publish your story
in the Huffington Post.
Give it to me afterwards.
Each week. I'm putting up 3 or 4 stories. Eventually I'll get to everyone. Who would like to go next? And when you tell your story, if you make it personal and specific, about what really brought you here, it has more resonance.
It has more resonance.
And if everyone could please.
And if everyone could please.
Come sit down on the steps.
Come sit down on the steps.
We won't have to yell so loud.
We won't have to yell so loud.
And it's warmer.
And it's warmer.
It's very cuddly here.
It's very cuddly here.
Okay, who would like to go next? Okay.
I'm coming from Boston.
We're self-employed.
Banks would not work with us whatsoever.
And the banks would not work with us whatsoever.
So because of this,
Not
not only are we bankrupt,
bankrupt,
but we'll be losing our house this spring
but we'll be losing our house this spring.
and have to move, I don't know where, but
And have to move, I don't know where.
I'm also here because of the disgusting greed
I'm also here because of the disgusting greed
of Wall Street.
Of Wall Street.
And I don't understand how a human being can accept millions of dollars
And I don't understand how a human being can accept millions of dollars
in a bonus
in a bonus
and allow their fellow workers to be tossed out.
and allow their fellow workers to be tossed out.
I feel, and I'm also very much against these two wars that have put us in this position.
I'm also very much against these two wars that have put us in this position.
I want this country to start uniting together, people to unite together.
I want this country to start uniting together. People should unite together.
This is not a left or right-wing issue.
This is not a left or right-wing issue.
It's a human issue.
It's a human issue.
And quite frankly, I'm totally sick of it.
And quite frankly, I'm totally sick of it.
And I applaud anyone that's here.
And I applaud anyone that's here.
Thank you very much. What's your first name? It's Deborah. Deborah. Thank you, Deborah.
And if you want to send it to me, you can send it to me. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, for those of you who just joined, this is a story group.
This is a story group.
We meet once a week.
We meet once a week
For people to say
for people to say
what brought them to the park,
what brought them to the park,
what they want, and the kind of future they dream of.
and the kind of future they dream of.
And if you want your story
And if you want your story
to go further than the park,
to go further than the park,
I've been doing a column
I'm doing a column
called Ambiguous Upsparkles.
called Ambiguous
From
Upsparkles
the heart of the park.
from the heart of the park
Huffington Post.
on the Huffington Post.
Who would like to go next?
Who would like to go next?
Want to go?
Point of information.
Point of information.
The stories should be
The story should be
personal.
personal.
They can be about anything.
They can be about anything.
Beautiful,
Beautiful,
strange,
strange,
disgusting,
disgusting,
bizarre,
bizarre,
inspirational,
transformational,
that you experience
here
in Liberty Plaza.
in Liberty Plaza.
After that, it's up to you.
It's up to you.
But make them original.
Make them original.
Something we've never heard before.
Something we've never heard before.
Also, we communicate through a process of mic check. When I say something, everyone who can hear it has to repeat back. That's how we hear each other. It's called the human microphone. And it only works if everybody participates.
And when we're doing the stories, if you really say the other person's story, an amazing thing happens. The person's story goes into you.
The person's story goes into you.
And you feel their story.
And you feel their story.
For a long time after you leave here.
For a long time after you leave here.
It's a new kind of theater.
It's a new kind of theater.
Occupy theater.
Occupy theater.
Okay, who wants to go next?
Okay, who wants to go next?
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda.
I'm here from Occupy Philly.
I'm here from Occupy Philly.
One of the reasons I came back up here is because I was here for the second and third weekends in Occupy Wall Street.
It's because I was here for the second and third weekends in Occupy Wall Street.
The second Friday I was here, you guys weren't allowed to have tents or any permanent structures.
You guys weren't allowed to have tents or any permanent structures.
People were freezing cold and wet.
People were freezing cold and wet.
And the cops were being horrible.
And the cops were being horrible.
And the amount of energy and support that everyone had was unbelievably amazing. People were standing in the rain under tarps and umbrellas. Keeping each other dry because they weren't even allowed to use cardboard. The next day, I got arrested on the Brooklyn Bridge. And I don't really know why. And everyone I've talked to doesn't know why. The next weekend, we started Occupy Philly. Because of you guys. At Occupy Philly, it's huge. It's really overwhelming how much space we have. And we feel like you guys are a lot more organized than us. We've taken over all of City Hall. Which sounds great. But it's really hard to watch everything. And we have this really strange dynamic with the police. Where they pretend they're friends with us. And no matter what we do, they won't actually arrest us. Or let us move forward with much sustainable change. So we're really frustrated. So 5 of us came up here this weekend. To talk to all of you more. About how to educate our very diverse population in Philly. Half of which have never heard of security culture. And don't understand that the police are very violent sometimes. With lots of people. But specifically with non-able-bodied white people. Non-white people.